That was quick. Thank you. Tim, thank you for the introduction. I appreciate it. As Tim said, my name is Rob Watson. I started a bit of an organization called Open Our Lane. And a year ago, when I don't know how many of you drive on 485 frequently, but when they opened the expanded 485 lane, everybody kept wondering what are those orange and white barrels doing all over the place with road closed signs in that perfectly good usable lane. So I began Open Our Lane with the effort to try to get that lane open for our use. But that lane is being reserved for the high occupancy toll lanes that we'll be talking about this evening. So that lane, and I'll keep calling it a lane. I know others will call it a shoulder or whatever you want to say, but it is going to be closed for 5 years. And so that's how I started Open Our Lane. And as we continue to talk about toll roads, I continue to learn more and more, dig deeper, understand some of the research, what was going on, look at Widen I-77's efforts, look at Commissioner Puckett's efforts, and I learned more and more about the managed lane strategy, and Open Our Lane became more of a focus as an advocacy group against this strategy. So we have almost 1,100 members now, and our message is getting out there, and hopefully we're trying to educate on the south side of Charlotte what's going on, because what's going on the north side of Charlotte is not the only thing that's going on in Charlotte region. And as the flyer that's out there on the front of the desk shows you, there are toll lane projects that completely circle the city and then go beyond Lake Norman. So there are projects over the next 10 to 15 years that will affect everyone in the Charlotte region, and that's why we're here tonight talking about it. So let's move forward. So the agenda today for me here is I'm going to talk a little bit about the current status. And I apologize for the eye exam up there, folks, but I'll talk to the points that are on there and give you a piece of paper that you can hopefully write on at least. So, I can do it, I guess, right? Oh, there we go. A little bit clearer. Thank you, Jay. So we'll talk a little bit about the state of tolling in North Carolina. What tolls exist or are in process and talked about. Mr. Cole here may have additional comments on that when it's his turn. And then we'll talk about the managed lane strategy in the region and a little bit about what happened Monday. So I think most of you folks are well aware of the City Council meeting this past Monday, as well as some of the other things that have been going on. A little bit about what happened Monday, what's happening kind of right now. We'll talk a little bit about I-77 North toll lanes. I'll probably turn to my esteemed panelist here. And then I'll give a few comments about the express lanes and what Open Our Lane's concerns are with the I-485 express lane project. So the state of tolling in North Carolina. You have one toll road that's open today. And one of the things I want to make sure is clear to those who don't already know, toll roads and toll lanes are two different things. A toll road is a road that is entirely tolled. So that road, in order to ride on that road in any situation, you will eventually pay a toll. And those are usually viewed as good alternatives around busier areas, and that's the purpose generally of a toll road. A toll lane, on the other hand, is a lane within existing traffic where other general purpose lanes, the term general purpose is usable by anybody, where other general purpose lanes are made available. So that's a distinction. The Triangle Expressway up in, as you can imagine, the Triangle area, the Raleigh area, is an existing toll road. This project cost over $1 billion. It was the largest transportation project in North Carolina history. The Monroe Expressway, Monroe, not too far away from here, that is also a toll road to be used as an alternative to get around Monroe as traffic for 74. Construction began in May 2015, and it's expected to open in 2018. And then, of course, we've got the I-77 express lane. So phase 1 from exit 11, 277, all the way up to NC 150, which is exit 36. This is the project of a toll lane. It'll be 2 toll lanes for a total of 88 toll lane miles. And there will not be widening on that road. That will be general purpose lane capacity. It will all be managed toll lanes. And I'm sure Mr. Parker will add quite a bit when we get to him on Phase 2 of the I-77 express lanes, this is 77 south from 277 in Charlotte area down to exit 2 485, although I've seen some maps drawing it all the way to the South Carolina border. I'll let Mr. Cole clarify that one for us, but that is also an impending project. That may take a little while. That's looking like 2025 at this point in time, but that's a future project. And then, of course, the I-45 express lane. So here it is. Here's the picture. You got I-77 North, a $650 million public-private partnership with Cintra. $308 million to my calculations, 309, excuse me, comes from state funding, the rest from the third party, Cintra. Then we have US 74, we have a small component of 74's Independence where tolls are in process right now to being built, or conversion of the bus lane into an HOT lane is in process, and that's a $17 million project. The rest of 74, which would be completed in 2024, is a $400 million toll lane project. I-45, which is the focus of today, should be completed by 2019. That's a $203 million project to complete the tolls, and we'll talk about the details of that in just a minute. And then again, I-77 South, and the numbers that I have here are estimated, and the reason they're estimated is we were told on Monday evening that the project was $275 million from the state, but that was about a fifth of the total project. And further, Secretary Tennyson indicated that it would seem very likely that a public-private partnership would be necessary to complete that project. And he alluded to the likelihood that it would be completed with the same partner we have on I-77 North, which is Cintra. Okay, so what's going on right now? Why are you here? Why is the news covering this? What's going on? In June of 2014, a contract was signed, as we said, with NCDOT and Cintra regarding the toll lanes in I-77 North. That is one key point to make, so that's not something that's going on right now, but I wanted to make sure that point was made on the timing of that contract. In August of 2015, the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization, CARTCO, however you want to call it, affirmed the TIP. This is the plan that I just described a minute ago over here. They affirmed these toll lanes, the managed lane strategy. So as a result of a lot of effort on the I-77 North aspect to cancel the Cintra contract, I should say as a result of, but Cintra began construction on the I-77 North toll lanes November 16th, but as a result of all of the pushback to drive toward canceling that contract, in December, and it looks like I forwarded myself too far, I apologize, that's December 14th, 2015, Governor McCrory asked CARTCO to reaffirm or reverse the strategy. So that was the question, directly in the letter. Reaffirm or reverse the current strategy of managed lanes. January 5th, Commissioner Puckett, Commissioner James, and 6 other representatives voted 8-1 for Mecklenburg County to direct their representative for CARTCO to vote against the toll lane strategy. This past Monday evening, despite 40 of us standing out there and expressing what the citizens prefer and want, the City of Charlotte voted 7-4 to direct their CRTPO representative to reaffirm the strategy and vote yes for toll lanes. On January 20th, there will be a vote of the CRTPO members. There are 27 members of the CRTPO, but it's weighted based on population. So the City of Charlotte representative has 31 of 68 votes. In your own quick calculation, you can see that that's nearly 50%. It's 46%. If that representative brings 3 more people on their side, then that's a done deal. That representative's already been told they will vote yes. So there's already a going-in metric of 46% yes. The other 26 members would need to almost be unanimous. Now at the same time, whether they vote yes or no, if you have 14 voting no, even if it doesn't pass, that would send quite a statement. And so that's one thing to consider as we get ready for this meeting here next week. All right, so I'm going to steal the NCDOT thunder, something I pulled directly off of their website, of the purpose of the express lanes. So the purpose of the I-45 managed toll lanes is to provide travel time reliability on I-485 because there isn't any now, is it experiences congestion on a regular basis. And it's supposed to give motorists the option of paying a fee for reliable trip time on I-45 between 77 and 74. On another side, it was defined as providing a premium service on I-45. Phase 1, which is approximately 9.2 miles from I-77 to Rea Road, is already opened. This is the general purpose lane that was added and opened in December of 2014. Phase 2, well, it says 17 miles. As I described earlier, half of the toll lane has already been laid in asphalt. And NCDOT told us it would cost $1 million to open it as an HOV lane back in April. So it's not it should not be a very expensive proposition to turn that into additional general purpose lane. But 8 more miles of an additional lane, it would create one 17-mile high occupancy toll lane between 77 and 74. It's supposed to be completed in summer of 2017, begin construction in the summer of 2017 and completed in 2019. So here's a project map. This is an eyesore, I apologize, but just to be clear, A is I-77, that's where everything begins. B is Rea Road area, that is where currently phase 1 ended, and the general purpose lanes that were added merged at that point. C is Providence Road. This is the furthest point where back in January, former Secretary of NCDOT Tony Tata came to City Council to describe the issue and explain. And during that meeting, NCDOT presented a heat map which provided congestion currently as well as in the future. And Providence Road was the point at which the heat map ended in terms of being hot, now and in the future. And it was at that point, so the point, the comment there is congestion between C and D, which is Independence Boulevard, the end of the HOT lane, and generally speaking is not expected to be very significant.